The United States Central Command announced that the United States has sunk more than 20 Iranian vessels as the conflict in the Middle East continues to escalate. The Iranian vessels destroyed by U.S. forces include large warships, fast patrol boats, and weapons transport vessels. Among these ships was an Iranian frigate named Iris Dena, which was sunk by the U.S. Navy using a torpedo missile in the Indian Ocean near the coast of Sri Lanka. The sinking of the vessel reportedly resulted in the deaths of 87 personnel aboard the ship. In fact, the ship was operating far from Iran near the waters of Sri Lanka. The sinking of this vessel demonstrates that the United States is using advanced intelligence systems to track and destroy Iranian military assets, whether they are inside Iran or abroad. Even weapons located outside Iran's military bases may become targets if they belong to Iran. The destruction of the Iranian frigate, Iris Dena, was also mentioned by U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth during a press conference at the Pentagon. He stated that the attack was one of the most successful operations in the war against Iran. According to him, the U.S. Navy used a submarine to launch torpedoes that sank the Iranian vessel. This marks the first time since World War II that the United States has used a submarine to sink an enemy warship of this size. The Iranian Iris Dena frigate had a displacement of 1,500 tons, a length of 95 meters, and a width of 11.1 meters. The ship was first commissioned by the Iranian Navy in 2021. Following the sinking of this major warship, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi on March 5, 2026, directly accused the United States of committing an act of aggression by sinking an Iranian warship stationed near the coast of Sri Lanka. He strongly warned that Washington would regret its actions. According to the Iranian Foreign Minister, the Iris Dena was in the area as a guest of the Indian Navy and was carrying approximately 140 sailors. He claimed the ship was attacked in international waters without prior warning. Another incident that could further intensify the ongoing war involves suspicions that Iran launched a long-range ballistic missile toward Turkey, a member of NATO. The news outlet Al Jazeera reported on March 4, 2026, citing the Turkish Ministry of Defense, that a long-range ballistic missile believed to have been launched from Iran entered Turkish airspace, passing over Iraq and Syria. However, the missile was intercepted in time by NATO air defense systems stationed in the eastern Mediterranean. Before this incident, Turkey had warned Iran not to attack countries in the Gulf region that are allied with the United States, because those nations might take military action in response. After the incident, Turkey stated that it reserves the right to respond to any act that threatens its security. At this point, it is important to note that under Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, if one NATO member is attacked, all members of the alliance may respond collectively against the attacker. Regarding the missile incident, Iran has denied launching any missile toward Turkey. The Iranian military stated that the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran respect Turkey's sovereignty as a neighboring country and rejected the claim that a missile was fired from Iranian territory toward Turkey. Therefore, the missile incident remains under investigation. As of March 5, 2026, Iran continues to launch missiles and drones against Israel and against U.S. military bases across the Gulf region. These include Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates, Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait, NSA Bahrain Naval Base, Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, Al Asad Air Base in Iraq, Harir Air Base in Iraq, because the United States and Iran are located on opposite sides of the world. The U.S. military relies heavily on these bases, as well as bases belonging to allied nations, such as the United Kingdom, to conduct operations against Iran in the Middle East. This is why Iran has continued to target these bases with missiles and drones attempting to disrupt U.S. military operations. However, the situation has become even more complicated because Iranian missiles and drones have not only targeted military sites, but have also struck civilian residential buildings and oil infrastructure in several Persian Gulf countries. If Iran continues these indiscriminate attacks, many Gulf nations may join the United States and Israel in military action against Iran, as Turkey previously suggested. Countries in the Persian Gulf, including Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, are increasingly affected by this conflict. These countries have experienced repeated attacks from Iranian missiles and drones. In reality, these nations are not directly participating in the war. However, they are being targeted because U.S. military bases are located within their territories. During the first days of the war, several Gulf states reported attacks from Iran. Qatar, which is often seen as having relatively good relations with Iran, also experienced missile and drone strikes. Qatar reported that it shot down 2 Iranian fighter jets, identified as Su-24 aircraft. In Saudi Arabia, Iran reportedly targeted the Ras Tanura oil facilities and also attacked the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates appears to have suffered the most intense attacks. The country's Ministry of Defense reported that since March 1st, 2026, it has faced more than 800 Iranian drone attacks and around 200 missile strikes. These attacks have resulted in at least 3 civilian deaths. Among the Gulf states affected by these attacks, Saudi Arabia is widely suspected to be the first country likely to retaliate against Iran. Saudi Arabia has long been one of the most influential powers in the Persian Gulf, and it is unlikely to remain silent. The country is believed to be preparing some form of military response. Although no country wants to be directly involved in this war, they also cannot stand by while their territories are repeatedly attacked. Some military analysts believe that if these countries continue to face missile and drone attacks from Iran, they will likely retaliate within the coming days. If that happens, the war could expand significantly, exactly as Iran previously warned. According to the human rights activists' news agency, Ashrana, based in the United States, as of March 5th, 2026, the number of civilian deaths in Iran has reached 1,114, including 183 children, most of whom were under 10 years old. In Israel, more than 10 people have died due to Iranian missile attacks. Meanwhile, 6 U.S. military personnel have also been killed as of March 5th. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again in the next video.